Sorry I'm late, folks, but now I'm here to talk about UJPW's All Together Sapporo event coming up this Saturday. Live from the Hokkaido Kitao in Sapporo, Japan. Available only on Amiibo. So what do we got on this card? Well, we'll kick it off with the kickoff match. Toru Yano and Tomoaki Honma of New Japan taking on Toyama and Tomoya, who bounces around between Pro Wrestling Freedoms and DDT against Andreza Giant Panda. Basically a guy in a giant panda suit. This is to play up the fact that Yano, as a Hokkaido area's tourism ambassador, won't hit a bear, especially since he's been a very huge bear conservationist, whatever. But do I think that Yano and Honma will overcome this? Yes. I'm giving it to Yano and Honma. Next up, TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneel, consisting of Zack, Sabre Jr., and the number one contenders to the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Titles, the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita, take on Ulka Sasaki, Owada, GHC National Champion HAYATA of Pro Wrestling Noah. For Fujita, this is a chance to get back at HAYATA for beating him during the Best of the Super Juniors, and more or less denying him a GHC national title match. If you recall, Fujita's 3 wins during the Best of the Super Juniors were against Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Clark Connors within the first 3 weeks, and then Blake Christian in his final match in the A block. Everyone else he fought, El Desperado, Kevin Knight, Bushi, Teton, TJP, and HAYATA, he lost to. HAYATA, on the other hand, just missed out on the semis at the Best of the Super Juniors due to tiebreakers. Namely, he couldn't beat Desperado in the main event of the final day of A block, and losses to Teton and TJP did HAYATA in. That said, I'm going to give this to TMDK. Moving on to a Stardom showcase, Azumi against the Starlight Kid. It's not necessarily the worst Stardom match, given their chemistry. But who's going to claim the win here? I'm going to give it to the Starlight Kid, in my view, since she's had the number of Azumi lately. Next up, we will see Bishamon, YOSHI, HASHI, and Hirooki Goto of Chaos take on, representing New Japan, take on Daisuke Sekimoto and Daichi Hashimoto from Big Japan. For those who don't remember the name of Hashimoto, that's because Daichi Hashimoto is the son of former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, the late great Shinya Hashimoto, the man with the second longest individual IWGP Heavyweight title reign of all time. One of the OG Three Musketeers. Its toughness coming at last. Now, for those who don't remember, Big Japan Wrestling is mostly known, like Freedoms, as a deathmatch promotion. However, they do hold a lot of power hitters and technical strikers. However, I'm not sure if it's going to come out easy for Sekimoto and Hashimoto. I'm going to give this to Bishamon. There's more familiarity with them. Next up, the Young Gun Squad. Shota Umino, Ryohei Oiwa, And Tetsuya Endo of New Japan, Noah, and DDT respectively take on the United Empire. Here's Jeff Cobb, New Japan World Television Champion Jeff Cobb, KOPW 2024 Provisional Champ, the Great Okan, and Kazusada Higuchi of DDT. Oiwa's had a bit of a chip on his shoulder as of late. Now, while it's true Oiwa is technically New Japan, he's on loan. In my view, he is on loan to Noah. When that excursion ends, who knows? But with the way his attitude has surfaced lately in Noah, he is not joining Hontai. Worst case scenario, possibly best case, depending on how one looks at it, he joins the War Dogs. Kid's going to need a replacement. And it would make sense. Gabe Kidd needs a replacement when you consider the injury to Alex Coughlin forced him out of wrestling for good after the Dog Pound Cage match in February. That said, I would expect Oiwa to play nice at least for one night. So I'm going to give this to Endo, Oiwa, and Umino. Next up, the Sacho Squad version 2. Hiroshi Tanahashi of New Japan. Naomichi Marufuji of Pro Wrestling Noah and Kento Miyahara of All Japan take on just 5 guys, Taichi, Sanada, and Yuya Uemura. The lattermost of which fresh off losing the KOPW provisional title to Okan in a match of his own creation. Stormcatch. I'm going to give this to just 5 guys, just to be on the safe side. Next up, Tomohiro Ishii against Masa Kitamiya. Will the third time be the charm for Kitamiya? He's lost twice to the Stone Pitbull. And both times on Noah turf, if I remember correctly. This time, it's neutral ground for All Together in Sapporo. You know what? Third time's a charm. I'm giving this to Kitamiya. I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Ishii. Next up, the Bullet Club, Just 5 Guys, and Good Looking Guys Alliance take on Los Ingobernables de Japón. Teton, Hiromu, Yota, and Takagi take on Drill Maloney, Clark Connors, LJ Clearly, Anthony Green, and Jack Morris in a 10-man tag. This alliance between the GLG and the War Dogs has been going since April. I don't know how close Jake Lee and David Finlay have been in recent weeks, but it makes sense when you think about it. However, there should be more continuity between the members of LIJ, especially when you consider that we have new, never openweight 6-man tag champs consisting of Hiromu Takahashi, which is his first taste of tag gold of any kind, Bushi, and Yota Tsuji, which Shingo still is the never champ. This will probably be Teton's last show before he has to head back to Mexico. But that said, I'm going to give this to LIJ. Next in the docket in the semi-main, it's a 6-man tag. All Rebellion, Kaito Kiyomiya, who is the GHC Heavyweight Champion, Keno, and Alejandro, who take on another Bulldog War Dog GLG alliance. Gabe Kidd, Yohei, and David Finlay. Gabe Kidd and Finlay of the War Dogs, Yohei of GLG. Yohei is fresh, and Tadasuke are fresh off dropping the GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Championships this past Sunday to the unlikely duo of Eita and Tsuji Kondo. Kidd, a month removed from winning the Strong Openweight title, and just days removed from having the GHC Heavyweight title taken back from him by its rightful owner, that being Kiyomiya, who along with Alejandro, Keno, and Cristobal have formed All Rebellion. And considering this is build up for the day after, when Kid, Kiyomiya, All Rebellion, and the majority of the Noah contingency that are going to be at this event are going to have to get on a bus and drive down to get on a plane or a bus and drive down to Yokohama, where Kid will challenge Kiyomiya for the GHC Heavyweight Championship. You need one side to get momentum, and to me, it's going to be All Rebellion. And finally, the main event. Tetsuya Naito against Jake Lee. LIJ against GLG. Lee is basically brought himself in. He made himself a hitman, and who put the good-looking emperor had a hit took a hit on El Ingobernable. Lee got the win in Altogether or the Budokan on an attack match, but still, one-on-one, Naito is basically playing the road game. Why? Because he's in Hokkaido. Because this is in Hokkaido. This is Jake Lee's territory. And could that make a difference? Yes. But will it? No. Especially when you consider Naito's got a IWGP World title shot coming up at the Forbidden Door event against Jon Moxley. A chance to regain the gold he lost on American soil, albeit in a bigger venue than when he dropped it. So my pick to win will be El Ingobernable, Tetsuya Naito. So would I be surprised if Jake Lee wins? Not really. That's it for a late call, for a bit late. I was a little distracted and kind of dazed. Till then, leave a comment, smash the like, sub to the channel. I must bid you adieu. This is Mets228 signing out for this United Japan Pro Wrestling All Together in Sapporo charity show prediction. Goodbye. Good fucking night. Bang.